My name is Dale Brown. I'm 22 years old. I am an amateur boxer born in Calgary. Boxing is my life. I looked up to Rick. I wanted to be like my big brother, so I started boxing as well.
Bob and Guinea Brown were frustrated and fed up. For weeks on end, their older boy Rick was getting beaten up on his way home from elementary school. When they tried to get help from the school and police, none could be found. They decided enough was enough and took matters in hand by enrolling Rick in boxing.
It was strictly for physical thing, you know. It wasn't to make them world champions or anything else. It was something to keep them occupied and defend themselves once they did get older, because it's something like riding a horse. You'll never forget it, you know. It's once you have the training, then you've got it. That's basically it. We started Rick off. Dale went to the gym every night with us because we couldn't leave him at home or anything. And
on the advice of a close friend, Bob and Guinea enrolled Rick at the Renfrew Boxing Club. The club was being run by Art Pollitt, and it wasn't long before the Renfrew Boxing Club became the Browns' second home. Dale had never seen anything like it before. He sat quietly in the bleachers and watched his brother train in the ring. And the more he came to the boxing club, the more he wanted to be like his big brother, the more he wanted to become a boxer.
At that time, I wasn't taking boys as young as Dale because he was either 7 or 8 years of age. But this is the most totally different kid that I've ever seen. He was the most mature kid for his age. He just sat quietly. After a few days of this, I thought, Jesus. I asked his mother, I said, you better get him suited up.
I was in the ring, and of course I'm nervous. Of course I got this boy standing across from me, and I'm ready to pretty much hit. As soon as that bell rang, I think everything I learned went out the window.
He lost 13 pounds his first fight. He was just a roly-poly little thing. He was 78 pounds, I think, or something. He was 62 pounds, I think, when we finished the fight.
It was hilarious watching him. He just runs and runs. He swung so hard this one time, he just went through the ropes because he was so short.
Even though Dale was showing great promise, his parents were unhappy with Art's coaching style. So the Browns parted company with the Renfrew Boxing Club. Bob and Guinea decided to train the boys at home. This proved difficult, and after a year they started to look for a new club. Their search brought them to Jerry Burton.
I advertised in the local newspapers any kids that want to box and so on, and they heard about us, and that's how I met the Browns. They lived a few streets away from we did in Dover, and I met the two boys, Rick and Dale, and their parents, and they became very involved right away, the two parents, which we needed, and we started out in our basement with about 25 or 30 kids, and the Browns were the two of them.
Jerry also had two boys. Marty was slightly older than Rick. Corey was a year older than Dale. Though the Burton boys were far more experienced than the Browns, it was felt they should spar together. When Dale stepped into the ring for the first time with Corey, he had only 3 amateur fights. Corey had more than 60.
I didn't want to go in the ring with Corey. On sparring nights, it was almost like a fight. I used to just take a beating every night.
He came in the first day there. You know, he probably hadn't even trained for months or whatever, and I was, training pretty seriously for a little kid, and we sparred, and I thought, I instantly had respect for him. He was a tough kid, and not that he was an exceptional boxer, but he had the potential because he didn't back down.
Then came the touring. Each weekend, the Burtons and Browns would pack their bags and head off to boxing cards. They only needed to hear the word tournament, and they were off, traveling 10 to 12 hours a day, 20 to 30 tournaments a year. And they did well, winning contests from northern Alberta to New Mexico.
We went in Jerry's van. We seized the motor by Natton. We were going to call a cab to take us the rest of the way. Like, we wanted to go to these fights.
Fights in Raymond.
We ended up phoning back to Calgary.
Van, he drove out.
Yeah, got another van, and we had that one towed back, but we kept going. We made the fights.
The trips were definite, definite adventures into life itself, you know, like going to places where you're the only white kids, going, fighting in towns and winning all our fights and being asked nicely to leave the town. Like, you know, it's experiences in life more than boxing.
The relationship didn't last. Bob and Jerry argued often on training techniques, and then the final straw. Dale beat Corey in an exhibition match. The family split up, and once again the Browns were on their own. This time, Bob and Guinea decided to open their own gym. In a building with no plumbing and holes in the floor, they proudly opened the Beau Waters Club.
Gordon Grayson was with the Boxing and Wrestling Commission, so he brought down and checked that one time to help us out. And we had frost on the walls, I'll bet you a good inch and a half thick. And he looked at that place, he says, boy, he says, you got to have some dedicated kids to train in this place.
It was fun there. We didn't have the luxury, I think. It made you train hard.
I liked being trained by my dad. It was just, he'd get a little persistent at times and push a little hard, but then again, he only wanted the best for Dale and I.
The Browns' winning streak continued. Then the word got out that Dale was unbeatable, and for the first time, he couldn't secure opponents. Tournament organizers often invited the Browns because they knew Dale and Rick would draw crowds. But as soon as Dale's name was entered, the other coaches pulled their fighters.
And then they phone you up and they say, you know, come on down, we've got all these fights and everything else. You drive 1,000 miles one way hoping to get like 3-4 fights. You end up with one fight, he's overmatched, or he doesn't get a bout. You know, and all the time and effort, and he wants to go, like he's all up, he's pumped, he's worked hard for 2 weeks to get this fight, and then all of a sudden, wham, you're let down. Or we're standing in the middle of Gleason on Saturday night with nobody to fight.
The drought didn't last long. In 1986, Dale forced an upset at the Junior Nationals and took the middleweight title. The next year, he won the National Intermediate Middleweight title. Then the following year, his first light heavyweight national championship as an intermediate. And in 1989, at 18, Dale took the Senior National Light Heavyweight title. He was primed for the big league.
And then I just go to the ring and I'm wondering what I did, because I'm not really that tired. I'm more frustrated, and that's really unnerving. Well, this one should have scored and that one should have scored. You have to overlook that and just go in there and do it you know how.
In the 1990 Commonwealth Games, Dale lost to a Kenyan in the finals. The Pan American Games were next, and Dale lost again, this time to a Cuban in the semifinals. Then, at a Canadian-American box-off, Dale was knocked out for the first time in his career. Something was changing. Dale was not winning gold.
Canadian coaches such as Taylor Gordon and other people, and their influence on him in the next 4 years was a nightmare.
Taylor Gordon, we knew wasn't the coach for him, but he was listening to him. So Taylor Gordon's out east, we're out here, and he's kind of sloughing off. And he started sloughing off.
In the 1991 World Championships, Dale took out the defending silver medalist from Nigeria, only to be stopped by the defending gold medalist, a Russian. With this loss, Bob began to realize he was losing influence and control over his boxer, his son. Dale, meanwhile, privately began to question whether he could go the distance.
We're competing with the world's best, and it is, you know, you're fighting against a world champion or a guy who's ranked in the top 5 in the world, and you know, it's pretty tough entering the ring. And
on any day, any man can win on any given day. It's just a matter of having everything all together for that certain tournament.
They're all at the same level, and he just hasn't had the break that would give him the gold medal.
It's very hard for Dale to get up, work Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 3:30, come home, rest for an hour, and go training for 3 hours a night. That'd be hard on anybody, and that's why we're trying so hard to get a sponsor, because I feel he could just have that extra training, and I think that could almost get him, instead of always the bronze and the silver medal, I think that'd get him the gold.
Dale easily won the 1992 Canadian Olympic team box-off. After qualifying, he was approached by Jimmy McInnes, president of the Canadian Amateur Boxing Association. McInnes convinced Dale to train in Nova Scotia for the Olympics. No one told Bob, and when Dale returned from Nova Scotia, father and son traded strong words.
So he got all huffy and out the door he went. Next day he come back, apologized, we talked things over. And I said, Dale, I said, you fought this one kid that you beat in 47 seconds. I said, the next time you fought him 2 years later, I said, he lasted 3 rounds with you and he had a screwed up left ankle. I said, now there's something wrong here. He says, you're right.
I would think that it would be every father's dream for their son to go to the Olympic Games. And I know it was my dad's dream. But my dad's, again, he's a perfectionist and he's stubborn. If he doesn't get his way, it's no way. And that was the case. He felt that I had done something wrong, so he didn't want to be a part of it, which was a shame, because I think now he regrets that. He wishes he did go to the Olympic Games, and I do wish he did too.
Dale losing his dad as a coach was something very hard for Dale, especially when it was 3 weeks prior to the Olympic Games. He had a lot of adjusting to do, and unfortunately had to adjust with it in Barcelona. But he did well with it, and Dale's the type of person just to get back up and say, okay, it happened, I gotta find myself a coach. And that's when his mom came through and said, okay. And then after that, when they were down at BJ's gym, he was becoming more of a coach himself than he was actually being an athlete and training. And that's why he decided to go with Kevin McDermott, and Kevin McDermott I feel has done wonders for Dale. He's a great coach.
He came to me a world-class athlete. He came to me with beautiful feet, moving around. I'm not going to change that, because when an athlete gets hurt in a bout, he'll always go back to what he knows best. And in Dale, that will be getting on your bike, moving around, making your opponent miss. So I'm not going to try and turn Dale Brown into a puncher.
In the 1993 World Championships, Dale reached the semifinals. His opponent, Cuba's Ramone Garby. By the end of the second round, Garby was winning. Dale went out aggressively in the third, realizing he had been too cautious. He took the round, but it was too late.
If he's having a slow first round, plus his opponent's landing scoring blows on him, then you've got a problem. But Dale liked to go in there, move around, feel his opponent out. Then when he was ready to make his move, he would start attacking. But I think a lot of it was to do with the fact that he maybe didn't believe that his conditioning was that good. But now I believe that's totally out of his mind.
Following the World Championship, Dale was invited to the prestigious Amateur International Boxing Association's World Challenge match. This was a great honor for Dale, for only 2 other Canadian boxers have competed in this event, Willie deWit and Shawn O'Sullivan. Dale was recognized as the only legitimate world title contender. His opponent, Ramone Garby.
One of my no-knocks respect him, he can't hurt me. He's an average fighter. So it's going to be one heck of a fight.
I'd fought the Russian before at the World Cup Challenge, I think it was, and I'd lost a decision to him. But I didn't really think much of him. I was pretty confident I could beat him. The guy would never stand there and fight with you. He'd be moving around, jumping in and out, grabbing you when you got close, and it was really frustrating. But I felt that I'd won the fight, and it was a close fight, but I felt that I'd won it. But boy, when you start fighting for the World Championships and the Olympics and things like that, it takes on a whole different perspective. It's a whole different level of pressure that you have that you just don't realize.
Sure did find out once again exactly what I was made of, and that was I wasn't of the ilk to give up or throw in the towel when the going got rough, and it was a rough night. That was 1983. I know I don't believe I was ever hit that hard by anyone. He was one of the hardest punching Russians I ever boxed and beat, and there's an expression, at least around Cabbagetown, called Being on Queer Street. I sure was on Queer Street 1 or 2 times in that contest.
It gives me a lot of pride fighting here now, knowing that my grandfather was once from Ireland, and I'm ready here, and I'm ready to prove that I can do this for myself and for my family.
Yo a él lo conozco de que éramos juniors en Puerto Rico, 89, y es un buen boxeador, saca bien la mano y tiene muy buena calidad. Y yo creo que una pelea con él debe ser una pelea fuerte, porque ya que es un boxeador bueno, siempre cuando hay dos boxeadores buenos arriba del ring, siempre hay que esperar el final de la pelea para saber quién es ganado.
Game plan, I'm going to be aggressive. Just a little bit different from last time. I was aggressive in the 3rd round. This time I'm going to be aggressive the whole fight. I'm going to keep on him, make him miss, but I'm going to be smart about it. I'm not going to go in flailing punches and stuff. I'm just going to be smart and be aggressive, make him fight the fight he doesn't want to fight.
Well, today's actually payday. Everything that he's been working for, all of his 12 years he's been boxing, it all comes down to today.
Good. I see his opponent is coming toward us at the moment, so Dale's ready. Dale is ready as he'll ever be, and he'll be there. The Cuban will know that Dale is there, and it's going to be a very close fight, I believe.
I don't know if you guys fit through here.
No, we're not going to fit through, no.
Braun war uns aufgefallen bei der Meisterschaft als ein großes Talent und deshalb haben wir ihn herausgenommen und für diesen Wettbewerb nominiert.
Dale Brown is, we can say, is the best amateur boxer in Canada right now. And if there's somebody in our country that has a chance to become world champion and to beat one of the Cubans, that's him.
You were just catching him coming in. It was great. I thought for sure you had it.
Quicker.
You gotta see if you can see this through that.
Somebody's going to see this and say, Jesus, you should know.
Just wait for me there at the stairs, okay? Wait for me at the stairs. What corner? Blue. Yeah, blue corner.
You're pouring a little bit with the jab instead of sticking it out there hard. You go in with a double jab, just like you've been doing. You finish with the right hand and the left hook, okay? left hook down to the body, okay? You got to throw 4 or 5 punches. The second half of the round was a good round because you started to be a bit more aggressive, okay?
To exchange trade punches, so get an angle and counter punch him. You see, that's what you wanted to do. You wanted him to come to you, so that's perfect. Don't have to chase him.
I just wasn't throwing my combinations. I was trying to be a bit cautious, and then I was throwing caution to the wind most times, and I was being wild about it. And I was throwing my jab all right, but then in the 3rd and 4th rounds, I got a little lazy, and he was just teeing off, pretty much. It wasn't that I was tired. It was just I was more getting frustrated with myself that I couldn't get him with the shots that I wanted to. So I was trying harder. I was pushing my jab, and instead of snapping it, I was trying to push it, which obviously you don't do.
How do you feel?
Upset, disappointed, but I don't think a fight should be stopped for a bloody nose. I agree that I was getting outpointed, no class. There's no doubt about that, but hey, it was his day, it wasn't mine. He's world champion.
You gotta keep it in perspective, eh?
He's a good fighter, but I don't think I'm that far away. I really don't. I'm here. I was fighting for it, but it's not my day.
It's okay, bud. You did us all proud.
Again, still, I'll learn from it, then I'll be that much more happier when I win the gold medal at the Commonwealth Games.
Anyone you want to thank?
Everybody. Kevin, Terry, Yvonne, my family, my girlfriend. They were all there for me. But it just wasn't my time. I'll redeem myself. It's bigger and better things for me still. It's just disappointment, that's all. Well, I'm still there.
His name is Dale Brown. He's 22 years old. He's an amateur boxer born in Calgary. Boxing is his life. While on location, the crew stayed at Best Western's Primrose Hotel, downtown Toronto, Victoria Park Suites in Ottawa, and L'Hotel Shangri-La in Montreal.